This was 2015 when they met. This was a visit by Lungu to Zimbabwe. The only visit ever public by Lungu to Zimbabwe during Mugabe's presidency. At this time, Mnangagwa was vice president, and you can see his head is thick, Musoro Sekwinya. So that was Mnangagwa here, looking healthy with hair. Now he doesn't have hair. So what my sources say is that Lungu acquired a Zimbabwe passport. Right? So this is very critical. Listen very carefully to what I'm saying. Lungu acquired a Zimbabwe passport sometime in January. However, when he traveled into South Africa, he traveled on his diplomatic passport. However, he spent some time secretly in Zimbabwe for about a week, and Mnangagwa gave him a Zimbabwe passport. I don't know if it was diplomatic or a normal passport, but they gave him a passport. So Lungu got a passport. When he got into South Africa, to evade intelligence and to move around freely, because obviously if you're moving around on another country's passport, you're going to be seen, you're going to be tracked. He then started to move around on the passport that Mnangagwa gave him in Zimbabwe. So he was moving in and out of South Africa using that Zimbabwe passport. That is according to my sources. Lungu was moving in and out of South Africa using the Zimbabwe passport. And for all intents and purposes, he took the identity of a Zimbabwean, but I do not know the exact name of that Zimbabwean. However, I know that people are going to send me that passport. However, it is known. People know it. A lot of people know it. So eventually, so you understand that from February, Lungu was in South Africa, and in January was in Zimbabwe for a week. That means February, March, April, May, and then when he passed on the 5th of June, he has been using the Zimbabwe passport. That is the passport that they used. When he got seriously sick, they didn't want people to know that he was seriously sick. So they didn't take him to the hospital that he normally goes for treatment. Instead, they admitted him under the Zimbabwean name at Medforum. So at Medforum, they used that passport from Zimbabwe to evade the fact that people don't come and say the president of Zambia is sick in this hospital. They then used the Zimbabwe passport for admitting him in that hospital. Unfortunately, he passed away under that identity which he had taken for the passport from Zimbabwe. That is what my sources have said. So Mnangagwa and Lungu tied together with this fake passport. And if you go and check right now at Medforum, you'll find out that a Zimbabwean has passed away either on the 5th, the 4th, the 5th, or the 6th of June. And that is the record that will show you the discharge. And automatically, that means the hospital, the morgue. And now I'm going to tell you who is the mortuary. So according to my sources, the mortuary that was used is Avbob. And that is where they took him, Avbob. Then they took the body there under the Zimbabwean identity. So when they discharged, the hospital still believed that they had a Zimbabwean who passed away. And then Avbob took the body under the identity of the Zimbabwean passport. Do you get it? So that means, as we speak right now, Lungu is death certificate, if this is correct, is therefore of a Zimbabwean under the Zimbabwean identity, not under the identity of the president of Zambia. Because in that hospital, no one died with that name. Otherwise, they would have to lie. They would have to commit perjury that they admitted person A, and then the doctors treated this person, and then that person died, which is not allowed. In South African law, doctors will never do such a lie. They will not lie like that. So eventually, you're going to find out that at the mortuary, there is a passport or a person with a Zimbabwe passport who has passed away, and therefore no Zambian president listed as being deceased. That's what my sources have said. So use this information however you like, That's what we've got. Now let's go to the burial itself. The South Africans have sent the army. When I was at the airport, you saw me at the airport. The army arrived. I was one of the first people there, even before journalists from other newspapers arrived. I was at the roof. So you saw me, I was on the roof. All the other journalists were down, but I went to the roof, which is why they almost arrested us. So when they arrived there was no body, right? They put that thing which you use for putting the body into the plane, but there was no actual body ever seen by the South Africans. At no point did the South African handle the body. So there was no point at which the South Africans handle the body. There is no point at which the Zambian embassy has handled the body, because automatically, if he has got a Zimbabwean passport, the Zimbabweans are then busy processing the death certificate under the fake name, and therefore the death certificate itself is under a fake name of the Zimbabwean, not of Lungu, the Zambian president. This is my sources, guys. I'm trying to give you what I've got. So don't come and give me more death threats here. So I got some Zambian death threats today. That's crazy. They don't know that I get one death threat a day. So what I'm trying to say here is, this is what has happened. We are still to see something bad, something dramatic. That's why the plane that has gone to Aruba is very important. The plane has arrived in Aruba. They were not allowed to land in Equatorial Guinea. So according to the latest thing here, you can see that they came here straight, Kinshasa to Luanda, and then Luanda, they went straight to Malabo. They never landed at Equatorial Guinea. Remember the original here. So check the original. Apologies for that slight delay there. So let us, maybe a slow delay on my display. I wanted to show you exactly what was supposed to happen. So you remember we were here in the afternoon where they were supposed to land at Equatorial Guinea. They eventually never landed there. They went straight to Malabo there. So that is what happened. They never went to Equatorial Guinea. They never allowed, they were not allowed to go there for some reason. I told you that the people in Equatorial Guinea are very honest people. They will not allow it. Equatorial Guinea hates people who go against the government or people that are fighting the governments. They don't allow you because they've gotten so many attempts to take them out. So the guys at Equatorial Guinea, they will never allow you to do your tricks inside of Equatorial Guinea. They won't allow it. So they'll probably tell you, you can refuel. If you're out of fuel, you'll be allowed to refuel, but you immediately have to take off. So if they landed at Equatorial Guinea, they were not allowed to go in and drop anything. That is my theory here. So let's recap what's going to happen. The plane is on its way back. So the aeroplane is on its way back to South Africa. So this is another crazy situation. This plane is going to come back here to SA. And I do not know why they are bringing it back here. In fact, they've cancelled. If you look again, they've cancelled that flight, which was planned. So let's quickly look at what has happened here. So there was a planned flight back from Malabo to South Africa. And as I was speaking to you right now, that has already been cancelled. It's no longer there. I'm not seeing it on the system anymore. So I don't know what has happened. A lot is happening with this thing. As we speak, a lot is happening. But in short, you're going to see drama as the South Africans are going to not allow the burial under the fake name. So the South Africans won't allow it. There is a DNA that needs to be taken. So a DNA of the body has to be taken. And that is going to happen. And I hope that it's quick. Normally, DNA takes a long time. But what they've said, and I talked to some people who said that the burial was planned for Tuesday. So Tuesday, that is when the burial was supposed to happen. But I don't know if it's going to happen given the complications that I've now given you. the identity of the person that died being different from the president of Zambia and carrying a Zimbabwe passport, and the fact that the DNA now needs to be taken. And as you know, a foreigner who dies in South Africa has a manual death certificate. It's not in a system because they don't have your name in the system. If you die in South Africa in the South African, or you have a South African ID, there is a system that triggers a freeze on everything of yours. So your debts, your debit orders, your bank account, everything's frozen immediately. So that system doesn't work for foreigners because they're not in the systems. So what is going to happen now is that there is going to be a manual death certificate, which means someone needs to physically go and say, my name is such and such. But if your name is not a Zimbabwean name, so let's say the guys are from the Lungu family, they go there and say, this is our person. They will then say, but this person who died is not the same as you, except if the hospital has done a crazy thing and given them a discharge or a death record with a name of Lungu. That means they have done corruption. That means the hospital has done corruption. They will have to now find out where they admitted that person, and when he was sick, who treated him, and when he was discharged. It's very complicated. It's not simple. This is going to be crazy. And Mnangagwa, deep in it, he is deeply involved. Mnangagwa is involved from the beginning of this whole thing. And also the whole situation in Zambia, Mnangagwa is involved. He's been part of all the destabilization taking place in Zambia. And I want to say, myself, I know President Hakainde Hichilema. I've been following very much. The best president for Zambia. If you remove President Hakainde Hichilema and put another president, Zambians will cry. Because that president is very good. He has converted Zambia into one of the best countries. If you put back PF, the country is going to go, I don't know what kind of country you're going to have after this. Because you need a bit of distance between the original PF, which was there, and the new government that's going to come after President Hakainde Hichilema. You don't want to have 5 years only, because there's still the remnants of the old behavior. So the beatings in the markets, the militarization, the collapse of the currency, all those things will come back if you have PF coming back right now. So PF must not come back into office until at least 10 years have passed. I know that PF guys are going to phone me and say, Gambago, you're crazy. But you mustn't come back, PF, take a chill pill for 10 years because President Hakainde Hichilema is doing a very good job. Okay, that's besides the point. And let's recap so that we don't get confused. So we said sometime in January, Mnangagwa provided Lungu with a Zimbabwe passport. Lungu is said to have spent a week or so in Zimbabwe, secretly. And then he traveled to South Africa, used his diplomatic passport to travel into South Africa. He put that diplomatic passport away, and he would get treatment and move around using the Zimbabwe passport, and then got sick while using the Zimbabwe passport, which he got himself admitted into a poor hospital. So Mediforum is a poor hospital at the middle of Pretoria. So they did that so that people don't know where he is. He didn't go where he normally gets treated, where everyone knew, including the embassy guys. They knew where he got treated normally. So trying to evade everybody, he went to that hospital, which is Mediforum, under the Zimbabwean identity, and then died while using the Zimbabwean identity. And the complication is that now, what is his death certificate? In whose name is it? Because if they put it in the name of Edgar Lungu, the hospital will be lying. They did not admit such a person. So what would they say? So did the hospital enter a deal to conceal his identity? Is that even allowed? I don't think that's allowed under South African laws, to admit someone under a wrong name or to lie about the identity of someone. And I know that Lungu went there because he didn't want to be known. He was not being treated there all the time. He only got treated there when he got extremely sick so that he could evade detection. So now where we are is regarding the burial. The death certificate, if it has been cleared by the Zimbabweans, that's even worse. If the Zimbabweans have cleared the death certificate, that's worse. Because that means the South Africans are going to have to answer how they allowed such a thing to happen. So the South Africans are actually in a tight spot because of this situation. And I know that they're investigating to see what identity Lungu was using in the hospital. That identity has to be explored. What document do you use to go in that hospital? And is that what's on his death certificate? Is that allowed? When is the DNA going to take place? And is it allowed to bury someone under a false name? Those are the questions. And these two men are involved. Mnangagwa, deeply involved with this Lungu situation. Mnangagwa, Arkuraya Vandu, Nenzara. All right, guys, I think I've covered this, and I don't want to keep it longer than I have to. Let's go to the PF website. I want to show you something else. PF is doing crazy stuff. That's why I'm saying if you allow PF to be in office, you're going to see. It's going to be crazy. So let's go to PF website. PF have said something else. Now, just like when I came here, they said something. Now they're live. I'm going to check if they're live. But I want to show you what PF has said. PF has said President Hakainde Hichilema has refused Jacob Zuma learning rights in Lusaka here last week to help resolve the conflict, resolving ECL funeral. Now UPND become desperate, produces AI-generated fake video, fed of fake opinions, and transmit hate. This is not true. The person who arrested President Hakainde Hichilema and kept them in jail for 92 days is Lungu. It's not President Hakainde Hichilema. So I'm not even, I don't have a doubt, guys, because I've been to Zambia for so many times over the past year. Multiple times. You saw me during the SADC summit. The kind of democracy in Zambia right now is commendable. You need that kind of democracy in Zambia. You don't want this crazy situation. Imagine if your daily life becomes like this in Zambia. That would be crazy. What kind of life will you live if everything that happens in Zambia is political maneuvering? Because this is what is happening. These are the signs you're seeing here. You're seeing the signs of what will happen if these guys take over in Zambia. They are going to make your life a drama. Now, so let's see who's talking here.
For example, preside over now. If you follow it from the bottom of this confusion which is happening now.
My brother, can you quickly contribute? What do you wish to say? Quickly say what you want to say.
Yes. What I wish now to see is unit, and also have proper reconciliation, and possibly have the former president be buried in Zambia. We have any other country where he can be buried. He was a Zambian, and he served this country for that matter, and we respect that. Whatever
I wish that the praise singers, my brother, thank you. I wish that the praise singers could recognize what you've just said. They've gone on insulting, even the late president.
Okay, guys, you can go and watch PF. I don't watch PF at all. I don't like watching PF at all. Let me just finalize here. The blame is not on President Hakainde Hichilema. He has done everything. He has even extended the period of mourning. He sent a military aeroplane and they refused to take it. And they took that plane from Aruba, the best flight. There is nothing here where you can blame President Hakainde Hichilema. And the only people to blame is PF. They're using the body for drama. And also Mnangagwa for giving the passport to Lungu. So this is clear. We're going to see a lot this week. Quite a lot. We're going to see a lot. Do not worry. It won't end with them. Just a moment. It won't end with them succeeding. They're going to fail very badly because the South Africans are going to jump into action. Within the next 2 days, you're going to see the South Africans jumping into action. Already, They are starting to fight the family. The South Africans are already starting to fight the family as we speak right now. So my understanding is that there's a lot of anger around the South African side who are saying the Lungu family are using the body of the former president for political ends, and they're not happy. So you're going to see an action coming from the South African side within the next 2 to 3 days. That burial won't happen on Tuesday. And you're going to see the Lungu family eventually allowing the burial to take place in Zambia. This president is not going to be buried here in South Africa. Mark my word. It's either the burial won't take place or eventually the family will have to take it to Zambia. There is no way and no reason. Of all the reasons that they're giving, there's nothing that makes sense to say, why would you keep a body in South Africa because you don't like the road being made, being graded, you don't want someone to look at the body. Guys, what kind of demands are those? Those are not even real demands. I want to see who says that. That's crazy. How can you say you don't want to take a body because they didn't tell you that they're going to fix the road that goes to the church? I think that's crazy. So I was asked today, why are you in this thing anyway? Because we are not in Zambia. We are in SADC. This thing is a SADC issue. Do you know that it's a SADC issue? Now, do you know that every president in this region is now involved? And the SADC chair, Mnangagwa, has given the passport to Lungu. I'm saying this to you now. This is what my sources are saying. SADC chair is the one who gave the passport that he used to go in the hospital. There was no other passport used. It's not a Zambian passport because they knew that the Zambians were going to know where he is. So they used the Zimbabwe passport. So SADC chair is responsible. That's why it's a SADC issue. And that's why you see me in this thing. And West, we now have Aruba involved. We now have Equatorial Guinea involved. And now we have South Africa involved. That's crazy. So the drama is about to end. And the end of it is going to be like this. People are going to be exposed. And I hope that President Hakainde Hichilema forgives them because they could get arrested for using a fake document. Because you can't do that. The president of a country can't travel on a fake document. Worse, if he traveled in and outside of the country with a fake document. So let's say we find the passport and it's been stamped. Then what then? It's been stamped to go to Aruba. It's been stamped to go to Equatorial Guinea. It's been stamped to go wherever. What do you do then? Or stamped to go to Zimbabwe? You see, that is the crazy situation that I'm talking about here. It's not normal what is happening here. And this family must just release the body. They must release the body and take it to Zambia. The people of Zambia have suffered enough. They can't take what's going on now. The people of Zambia cannot take this crazy situation. It's unbelievable. And as I said, the people of Equatorial Guinea have refused to let that aeroplane land in Equatorial Guinea. They didn't allow it. They cannot allow this crazy situation to happen in Equatorial Guinea. And I'm so happy for Equatorial Guinea. They're very honest people. And they don't allow these crazy situations to happen in their country. Okay, I'd like to thank all of you for watching. And I'll see you again in the morning as we cover the training news. And I would like to look at the comments now. If you listen to Gamako and Chamisa, you don't get wrong. Uzani Pikize, yes, Mkoma teach Chamisa Pamberi na Chamisa. Pasi na Mnangagwa, Chigananda, Zoro. ZB, Sitos, lies. Talk lies like Gamako, yes, Jablani Moyo. And then Chigo, he is a corrupt person. He wants problems every time. Who is that? Lungu. Or who? Lungu will remake to stage a coup in Zambia. I do not put it beyond it. Guys, this is serious. No single person has seen this body. What kind of a funeral is that? It's not allowed under African culture to do this. You can't have a person dying and no one has seen the body. I don't think it's allowed. Anyway, even in South Africa, are you scared of death threats? No, I'm not scared. Your source of information are all lies. How do you know Lungu had a Zimbabwean passport? Yes, my sources. I'm ready to deliver the new. Yes, let's do it. And then watching from Zambia, good evening, brother man. Yes, good evening, my fellow Zambians. My uncles stay in Zambia. Did you know that my uncles stay in Zambia? So, Apana, it's part of our life. Zambia is our fellow country. Let me tell you about Zambia. I love Zambia. Zambia is huge. People don't know how big Zambia is. It's big, that country. Like Zimbabwe, you can take Zimbabwe. I don't know how many times you can put Zimbabwe into Zambia. But President Hakainde Hichilema has done so much. The roads are nice. The country is functional. The health system is functional. Thousands of Zimbabwean students study in Zambia. Like Zimbabwe cannot keep their own students. How many doctors are studying in Zambia right now? President Hakainde Hichilema has done a great job. And he is doing a great job for Zambia. I've got no doubt about it. It's unquestionable. SADC was governed by Robert Mugabe, and it is great. Yes, SADC is great. Okay, guys, I would like to thank you for watching. And please, you can go to PF if you want to listen to something that's not true. Go to PF, but I don't watch PF at all. I never do. And if you're a Zambian, you know my opinions. PF must come at least after 10 years. Come back. Not now. Not 2026 when the election comes. Okay. Thank you very much. And I'll see you again in the morning, 5 a.m. as we do our trending news morning live.
Shiri kumedza go ifanika anakonda taona pazobuda nana tironi komanda ngoti takajamuka 2030 takabuka vachira